UFC Fight Night Burns versus Morales main card predictions. Let's get right into it. I'm going to go Michael Morales by unanimous decision. I think all of the odds are against Gilbert Burns right now. He is 13 years older. He's much smaller. He has a way shorter reach. He's on a bad losing skid. It's against good competition, but he's on a bad losing skid. Michael Morales is on he's undefeated, so he's on I think a 7 fight win streak in the UFC. Some of the performances have not been that great. His last fight was against Neil Magny. Finished him on the ground after getting controlled for about 3.5 minutes. Fought the hands pretty well. Got backed up into the cage though. So I think that's how Gilbert Burns can have success is if you have to be very high pressure, you got to back him up against the cage. You then got to shoot for some takedowns. And honestly, I don't think he's going to get him because Michael Morales, like I just said, he fights the hands really well. It's not that easy to get him down. But honestly, your best bet for Gilbert Burns is, like I said, pressure him early, get him up against the cage, and kind of just stall him. Because I don't think he's going to be able to land takedowns. He's not going to have that much form on the feet. He doesn't have sting in his punches. He's slower on the feet. He's just slower in overall movement. Michael Morales, super young, super quick. He's got great inside-outside movement, very good low kicks as well, which would keep Gilbert Burns at bay. I think this is going to be a decent performance. I don't think people are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, Michael Morales is the man." No, I think we're going to be like, "Oh, you know what? Michael Morales looked pretty good. He won rounds 3, 4, and 5, maybe round 2 as well." I think Gilbert Burns could take an early round, but also Gilbert Burns is kind of chinny. Michael Morales is a really good boxer, so he could get him out of there late. I think if Michael Morales gets a finish, it'll be around 4 TKO. But just to be safe, I'm going to go unanimous decision. Sadiq Yusuff versus Myron Santos. I'm going Sadiq Yusuff by round 2 TKO. Sadiq Yusuff is making his move up to 155 pounds. Myron Santos is not good. He's not a good fighter. He got destroyed in his last fight, and they gave him the decision. Easily one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in my life. He lost all 3 rounds very clearly. He's low volume. He's slow. He doesn't have crazy power. Like someone that fights on the front foot and has big power is going to whoop this dude, and that's exactly what Sadiq Yusuff does. I'm going Sadiq Yusuff by round 2 TKO. Dustin Stoltzfus versus Nursultan Ruziboyev. I'm going to go Nursultan Ruziboyev by round 1 KO, maybe round 2 KO. I don't think Dustin Stoltzfus is that good. He's coming off of a crazy win. He fucking flatlined Marc-Andre Barriou. But before that, he got destroyed by Bruno Vejeda. He had all kinds of injuries after that fight. He fractured an eye socket. He broke his orbital. His face got destroyed. And he was talking about retiring, and then he comes back 5 months later and gets a win. I remember people who actually were saying that Dustin Stoltzfus might not fight again after that because he was injured so bad. Nursultan Ruziboyev coming off of a dominant win against a bum in Eric McConaughey. Before that, lost a decision to Joaquin Buckley. I mean, won the first round and then lost the last 2. I think Nursultan Ruziboyev is going to starch this dude. He's going to finish him in the first round. Dustin Stoltzfus is chinny. Got finished by Abus Magomedov. He doesn't have good wins. He submitted Punelli Soriano, but he just doesn't have good wins. Whenever you give him a slight increase in competition, the dude just gets finished and loses. Nursultan Ruziboyev is so dangerous. He's massive, big power in his hands. He's back at middleweight after that little welterweight skid. I think Ruziboyev just sleeps this guy in 1 round. Rodolfo Bellato versus Paul Craig. Rodolfo Bellato is a minus 550 or something. I think that's a little ridiculous. I'm going to pick Rodolfo Bellato by KO, though, like round 2 or round 3. Rodolfo Bellato is coming off of a draw with Jimmy Crute. Rodolfo Bellato is not that great. Paul Craig is also not that great anymore. He's much older. He's taken a lot of damage. Got finished by Caio Borralho. You're losing a stand-up decision to Bo Nickel. He's getting submitted by Brendan Allen. I think Rodolfo Bellato is so fucking tough. He's one of those big head motherfuckers that just takes shots, throws shit. There's never much technique. He's probably gonna get hit as well. I think Rodolfo Bellato can take Paul Craig's best shot with ease. He's got a massive cranium. He's a weird looking individual. Got a good chin on him. He's younger. He's tough as hell. Get the reach advantage. I think he's just gonna kind of walk him down. I don't think Paul Craig's gonna have much success taking him down either. I think Rodolfo Bellato finishes him in round 2. Julian Erosa versus Melquiades Costa. This is really tough because Melquiades Costa is on a good little streak. He just beat C-Rod. I don't personally believe he won that fight. I think it should have been a 29-28 to C-Rod. He submitted Andre Fili after Fili shot a takedown and he just guillotined him. Julian Erosa's on a nice little streak as well. He just destroyed Darren Elkins, which, that doesn't really mean anything. He also submitted. Oh man, who was that dude he submitted? It was on the UFC Denver card. Who was that guy that he submitted? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I don't remember who that was. But Melquias Acosta, very good grappler, pretty entertaining as well. He's pretty high volume on the feet. Julian Erosa is slower. He's a very big featherweight. He can kind of grapple with Melquias Acosta. I'm gonna go Costa by unanimous decision. I think he's probably just gonna take him down in round one. He'll win that round in control time. Julian Erosa just doesn't have sting on his punches, and he doesn't he doesn't have the ability to outpoint people that are much younger than him, quicker than him. He's one of those experienced guys where if you give him a dude like Darren Elkins and an old head, like, yeah, he'll get through him pretty easily. But if you give him a dude that's young, has some decent stand up, really good on the ground, I don't think he has much of a path to victory here. So I'm going to go Melquias Acosta by unanimous decision. UFC Burns versus Morales prelim breakdowns. Tisha Pennington versus Luana Pinheiro. I'm going to go Tisha Pennington because her wife was a champion. So that means they probably train together, and maybe she'll win. Park Hyun Sung versus Carlos Hernandez. Carlos Hernandez has only lost to good competition. He lost to Tetsuro Taira, Ray Saruya, another guy I can't remember. He beat guys like Denise Bondar. He beat that where's he from? The Nyamjargal Tumen Dembarel. Where's he from? Mongolia, I think. He beat that dude in a pretty entertaining fight, split decision. Park Hyun Sung has been pretty inactive, has not fought in the entirety of 2024. And the guys he beat Shannon Ross, and he beat not Seung Woo Choi, Seung Gook Choi, I think is his name. Yeah, I mean, he's not beating good competition. He's been really inactive. Carlos Hernandez, pretty good on the ground. Honestly, he was outstriking Tetsuro Taira a little bit. Okay, he did lose that fight by KO. He had some moments on the feet. So I'm going to go Carlos Hernandez by unanimous decision. Denise Gomez versus Elise Reed. I can't recall any Elise Reed fights. I remember Denise Gomez fighting recently, and I think she the girl that beat Wang Kong. I need to fact check this. Because she was not the person that beat Wang Kong, but she's coming off. She's on a nice little win streak. She just beat Carolina Kolakevich. Elise Reed, she just doesn't impress me. Denise Gomez, I've seen like one or two of her fights. She's kind of well rounded, not the most entertaining. I'm gonna go Denise Gomez by unanimous decision. Gabe Green versus Mateus Camilo. Gabe Green is dropping down to lightweight after two bad losses. Lost to Ian Gary and then got finished by Brian Battle in 14 seconds. That was actually his last fight. I don't know if you guys remember this. That was when Jailton Almeida fought Jairzinho Rosenstrike. That was how long ago that was. That was, I think, 2 years ago. It was April or May. Mateus Camillo was making his UFC debut. He's actually coming up from featherweight. Gabe Green, just not that good. He's pretty high volume and kind of reckless. But I don't trust him at this stage. He's 33. He hasn't fought in 2 years. Mateus Camillo, guy's coming up. He's hungry. He's also Brazilian, so I'm going to trust him a little bit more. I'm going to go Mateus Camillo by decision. Jared Gordon versus Thiago Moises. Jared Gordon has been fucked in a lot of his last fights. Like, I really thought he beat Nasrat Haqparast. I thought he beat Paddy Pimblett, of course. He had that little no contest against Bobby Green. And he had a win. Who was that win against? Mark Madsen? I think it was Mark Madsen. Thiago Moises coming off a Trey Ogden win. Not a great performance. Then before that, he lost to Ludovic Klein. I think Jared Gordon is really good on the feet. Thiago Moises has, to me, he has regressed in skill from his recent fights. He just progressively gets worse and worse and worse. Jared Gordon. Now, it's kind of hard to have the motivation if Jared Gordon because he's just been getting these whack decisions. He loses to Nasrat Haqparast in Abu Dhabi, so of course they're going to give it to Nasrat Haqparast when I thought he clearly won that fight. But I think he's too much for Thiago Moises. I don't think he's going to get taken down. I think he's going to overwhelm him on the feet. I'm going to go late TKO for Jared Gordon, maybe unanimous decision. Well, I'll go late finish. I'll go late finish for Jared Gordon. Big power in his hands, scary dude. I'm going late finish for Jared Gordon. Yadir Devaye, I think is how you say his name, versus Connor Matthews. Connor Matthews isn't good. Got finished by Dennis Bazooka. Got finished by, oh man, who was that? Jose Delgado or something? Like, come on, dude. Yadir Devaye is making his UFC debut. I think he's going to beat Connor Matthews. He's just not good. And Connor Matthews, his wins? Who even were his wins? Like he's just beating the absolute. I think he has one win in the UFC. Or no, actually he doesn't. He has a couple contender series wins, but he doesn't have a win in the UFC. Yadir Devaye is going to beat this dude really bad. Connor Matthews is just he gets overwhelmed. He's just not good. I'm going Yadir Devaye by late finish. Round 2 KO. Luana Santos versus Tainara Lisboa. I've never heard of Tainara Lisboa in my life. I know Luana Santos. She's not too bad. I'm going to go to Luana Santos by unanimous decision.